What is a gate? A gate is a conclave of spiritual forces or entities that exercise government, that exercise rulership, that exercise dominion over lives, over territories, and over nations. A gate is a conclave of spiritual forces that exercise government, that exercise rulership over nations, territories, and individuals. So when we are talking about gate, we are not talking about just a metal, a fabricated metal that hangs to divide or to separate a compound from an outside world. No, that is what we call gate in the spiritual. Albeit there is an invincible reality that affects the life of every man, that shapes civilization, that influence everyone living in a territory. And these things are called gate. They are entities, they are spiritual forces that have come together to constitute a force of hindrance, that have come together to form an agent of manipulation, an agent of forces of resistance over lives, over territories, and over nations. If you look at the story of Daniel in the book of Daniel chapter 10, verse 12, 13, and 20, the Bible began to reveal to us that then said he unto me, fear not, Daniel, for from the first day that thou didst set thy heart to understand and to chasten thyself before thy God, thy words were heard, and I am come for thy words. But the prince of the kingdom of Persia withstood me 21 days. But lo, Michael, one of the chief princes, came to help me, and I remained there with the kings of Persia. Then in verse 20, then said he, knowest thou wherefore I came unto thee? And now I will return to fight with the prince of Persia. And when I am gone forth, lo, the prince of Grecia shall come. This is a reality that was taking place in the heavens. A man on earth set his heart to inquire of God and to pray why his people were still held in captivity in Babylon. Because according to the books, it was stated that they will be there for 70 years. 70 years have passed and there was no emancipation. There was no liberation. So Daniel saddled himself with the responsibility to go to God to ask questions. And the day he decided to chasten himself before the Lord, the Bible says his word was heard. And because of his word, an angel was deployed from the heavens to come and give him the words of his inquiry. But while on transit, the angel said he was withstood by the prince that governed the territory of Persia. So whereas Persia was an earthly territory, it was a domain captured in the spirit, or its spiritual domain was hijacked by a prince in darkness called the prince of the kingdom of Persia. The prince or the kings of Persia, they came together as the spiritual conclave that formed the spiritual forces that regulate and shapes the civilization of Persia. So no matter what you do, as long as you are within that territory, you are compelled to mirror their desires, to live according to the patterns and their suggestions. It tells us that gates are spiritual forces that colonizes a territory and forces men and women to live after their design and according to their pattern. I was at the orientation camp yesterday to preach, and I was shocked at the magnitude of people I saw in the camp. But unfortunately, there were very few that were willing to participate in the fellowship. And whereas they might be thinking, oh, they are in the camp to enjoy their life, powers or the forces of the spirit that resist people's faith in this territory is already acting upon them, but they are not aware. Only very few who are sensitive and who are devoted can be free from the influence of the spirit. Are you still here? Gabriel said to Daniel, he said, I will go and fight the prince of Persia. But know this assuredly, that the moment I leave, if eventually the prince of the kingdom of Persia is defeated, the prince of Grecia will appear. These are spiritual entities, forces of the spirit. And these spirits rule the territories of the earth realm through partnership with man, because by design, man is actually the gatekeeper of the earth realm. So no matter how powerful these guys are, they don't have jurisdiction to rule on the earth except in partnership with man. Why is this? The Bible showed us in the book of Psalm 115, verse 15 and 16. It said, ye are blessed of the Lord, which made heaven and earth. It said, for the heaven, even the heavens are the Lord's, but the earth has he given to what? To the sons of men. So according to divine law, no spirit have jurisdiction to operate in the physical universe without an invitation by a man. This is why you can be going through hell, and God, even though he's not pleased with it, there's nothing he can do except you invite him. This is why no matter how terrible your situation is, if you don't cry out for help by the instrument of prayer, the heavens will be looking. Because according to divine law, God has no jurisdiction to operate on the earth without a permission or an invitation for the rightful owner of the earth realm. Because by the act of his sovereign will, he has committed the earth into the hands of the sons of men to do as they wish or to do as they please. So through partnership with men, there are spiritual entities that colonizes territory, that colonizes nations, that take charge of the territories of people's life. I can tell you categorically that if you are not devoted to the lordship of Christ, if you are not fervent in your spirit, there are certain areas of your life that is under colonization of the enemy. And if you probe deeply as I speak, that area is looking at you like this. Even as believers, there are believers whose reality are under the control of certain demons. Part of their life are under contention. This territory is under contention. The spiritual forces that are in this territory, they are against light shining. So any little light that spring up, they attack it. I can't tell you how many times we've prayed here. The moment you leave here, they will circle this occultic men that are in partnership with the spirit of this territory. But of course, they don't know. I am not here to quit. I am here for a reason, to sack them. Gates. There is no territory without a gate. There are many persons under the sound of my voice. You are in Abuja, but the gate of Abuja is locked against you. Those spiritual forces have ganged up against you, and they have determined that the territory will never profit you. So you will see men and women who are laboring, sweating, day and night, no rest, trying to become something by the privileges that exist in this land. But the more they labor like elephant, they are eating like ant. It's a function of gates, whereby you can be in the territory, but you are locked up somewhere. The oppression of gate can make it so real to you that you are in a place physically, but spiritually you are not there. There are people, they will write to, man of God, I've been praying, I had a dream, I saw myself in my village. This person is in London. Why are you seeing yourself in your village? What has London got to do with your village? So even though physically you are in a place that should work, your reality is in your village, because gates have refused to let you go. It said the heavens, even the heavens is the Lord, but the earth has he given to sons of men. There are men who in partnership with evil forces have constituted themselves as gate. Have you heard of the concept of who you know? That in time, men have become forces, entities that can bring you into possibilities and resist you. That a man will look at you and say, no be this land with it, nothing for you. And everywhere you go, you are met with resistance. The function of gates. Joshua chapter 6, verse 1. The Bible said, now Jericho was straightly shut up because of the children of Israel. None went out and none came in. Gates represent the mystery of access. Access to realities and possibilities are regulated by gates and doors. That there are certain places that have been hijacked by the influence of gates, that you cannot experience anything good. Nothing good comes into your life, and if anything should leave, is the only good thing that is available. There are lives that no matter what they do, how they try, nothing good ever comes in. Just like the reality or the mystery of Jericho, it was straightly shut up such that nothing comes in and nothing goes out. As long as there is no possibility for you to move, you are already stranded. And that is the function of gates, evil gates, that nothing is allowed, nothing of good is allowed to come in. No matter how hard you try, it looks as if once something good wants to come from nowhere, it is hijacked. This is like the story of Nazareth. Nazareth was a territory that was alien to good things. In John Gospel chapter 1, 45 and 46, Philip found Nathanael and said unto him, we have found him who is the Messiah. What did Nathanael say? He said, can anything good come out of Nazareth? Can anything good come out? Meaning they are used to it. They have accepted their fate. In the history of Nazareth, they cannot tell of anything that was good that came out of that territory. Because by the institution of the gates and the activities of these spiritual forces, everything that should be good, that would have come out of Nazareth was grounded. Whatever should have come out, destinies that should have come out of Nazareth was grounded. And so when one came with good news concerning Nazareth, this thoughtful man, according to the scripture, he was a man without guile. He was a careful man found under the tree meditating about the situation of Nazareth. And then they came with this good news unto him. And he was like, can anything good come? So he's not speaking out of excitement. He has thought about the situation of the territory. And he has wondered, why is it that everyone from this land is grounded? Why is it that people from other territories are doing well? Good things are happening to them. But for us, why are we always like this? No experience of good things. If there's anything that should happen, it is actually ugly experiences. But when the Lord appeared from there, it was a doubt because they were not used to it. Because the influence of gate was strong. That anyone that comes out of this territory, your destiny is maligned. Listen, a life can be so manipulated by the influences of gates, so much so that nothing good comes out of that life.